This is a View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today's Tuesday, the 19th of October, 2021. My name's Patrick Smith. Welcome to another show. It's an interesting show, this one, because it goes out on... Well, no, actually, I'll go through this. Before I get into that sort of crack, I'll just say, you can get us through Spotify, Apple, all that sort of stuff, and follow us on YouTube. There's a few things we can wave at here. Hello. So I've changed room today, so I've sort of tried to set it up. Two big games this weekend for the Belfast Giants, two big performances, but only 2 big points as the Giants took on the Cardiff Devils and the Coventry Blaze, and that was live in Premier Sports. But also, I was realising probably about 20 minutes before that we started recording that this show will go out on the 20th of October, 2021. The 20th of October 2021 may not mean anything to you, but to me it does. It's the 16th birthday of A View from the Bridge. The first episode went out on the 20th of October 2005, and the first voice that you heard on that show wasn't me, wasn't Aaron Kernahan, it was Nigel Ringland. Here we go.
But the Giants have it back again. Curtis Huppy, left wing boards. Oh, Flurry with a goal! Theo Flurry with the opening goal with almost the first touch of the puck. Just a minute and 8 seconds into this game. A chance for the Giants. Huppy behind the net. Looks loose. Put it in front of the crease. Goes it down. And it's Flurry again. It's his second goal for the Belfast Giants. We've only ever been playing 4 minutes, and there he was in his favourite place, Wayne, right in front of the net.
Hi there, and welcome to the very first View from the Bridge, episode 1 on the 19th of the 10th, 2005. My name is Patrick Smith, and with me is Aaron. How you doing, Aaron Kernan?
Not too bad, Paddy, and how about yourself?
I'm doing alright. Great weekend of games. It's good to get through.
Yeah, very enjoyable.
Yeah, maybe if you'd like to tell the people what we're doing here and what a podcast is and the likes.
Yes, certainly. Podcast basically is a way of downloading a small show so you can listen to it while you're out on the go. You know, you can stick it on your iPod, your Zen, your MP3 player, and just take it around. You can sit in the bus and listen to us. And
yeah, so it's just what we're hoping to do here is give news, views, and general information on the Belfast Giants, and something that you can listen to on the go. Well, just to let us know what we're trying to do, like I say, we're trying to give you information on your Courage Belfast Giants. So if you have any...
But the Giants have it.
It's quite a stretch for 16 years of past, and we've got a little bit smoother. Not much, a little bit smoother. Aaron Kernahan was obviously the first one on with me. Connor Caldwell, who, congratulations to Connor, the birth of his daughter today. This morning, so congratulations to him. He was with us. Of course, Davy joined in, Jacko, Neil the Coach Russell, Mr. Kitchen and Mr. Neil now as well. 16 years have passed, but and we've come a little bit further on from those days of me sounding incredibly nervous because my mouth was in front of a microphone. Who knew?
I think your hair must
be
on the way, mate.
Mate, I had hair back, what was that, 2005? No, I didn't have hair then. I've not had hair for a long time, believe me. But yes, we're on with the show today. I'll start with you, Mr. Kitchen. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better than what I was last week. Honestly, last week I just didn't feel in a good spot at all, and thankfully you were able to sort of nice cup, David. You were able to get on without me, which was a great show. I was listening to it in the car a couple of days later, so yeah, I'm feeling okay now.
Good to have you back, and you had a bit of an entertaining weekend by the looks of it.
Before lockdown had hit, myself and my 3 brothers and my 2 brother-in-laws, we'd been away for a couple of golf weekends. I haven't been able to get away since we've actually nearly 2 years now. So we decided to head down to play at Banbridge on Sunday, Conquerwood on Monday. How I was able to swing up a club on Monday was beyond me. I had one too many drinks on Sunday night. I remember FaceTiming Taff at one stage. He was driving up the M6 to get the ferry back to Belfast, and he was laughing his leg off at us. So yeah, it was a really good weekend. It's just like it's getting out with your brothers and family and stuff like that's very important. So it was good to get out.
Fabulous stuff, mate. Glad you enjoyed it. And also, of course, a man who back 16 years ago was one of our few listeners is now one of our regular pundits. How are you, Mr. Mitch MC?
I wonder how many listeners there was. Certainly the sound quality has kind of improved. And as I said, I think it was last week, and we're talking about 19th of October was the date you recorded it. And there we're recording it, Sweet 16 today. And there's been many hundreds of shows. I think now you'd know better. Roughly how many?
It's in and around 700.
Wow. Unbelievable. And I'm sure I've been knocking on 10 years or whatever now. Certainly more probably, but because I remember doing it was in Belfast and I'm here 11 years now. So congratulations to you, Paddy. Like, I know you very self-effacing. We come here and we just talk and we do wee bits and pieces during the weekend interviews and but you're the brains and the genius behind the thing for 16 years. So massive congratulations from all of us to you, mate. Credit.
What have I got with my lunch? Oh no, thanks, lads. It's
you managed to slot 2 kids in between it as well. Like,
I know who knew that would happen. I'm pretty sure they're not. On that note, let's talk about the games. The Belfast Giants were back in league action, trying to retain their elite league title that they still hold. And the first game of that was against the Cardiff Devils at the Viola Arena. The score was 3-2 to the Cardiff Devils. Goals coming from, for the Cardiff Devils, Brendan Mickelson on the power play. Hold on, I'll bring up the Brendan Mickelson on the power play, Brodie Reid and Cole Sanford. For the Belfast Giants, Cam Knight and Mark Cooper. With regards to goalkeepers, Matt Carruth, 39 shots on, 2 goals against. Tyler Beskorani, the other side, 34 shots on, 3 goals against. Your refs were Tom Herring and Liam Sewell. What I'm going to say about this game, gents, I'll start with you, Davy, because, of course, you were there. It was you were there, and in that first period, and maybe break it down a little bit, but in that first period, I don't think there's any other way to describe it than total Belfast Giants domination.
There's so much to unpick and unpack from this game. It was one of those, and I go to the end of it first of all. When I left, and sometimes you leave at defeat thinking, you're despondent or whatever. I think that even though we got beat, Adam Keefe will probably have been an element upbeat in the locker room afterwards, because it was a game where even though we were chasing at the end, we were always in. And certainly, so the Devils came out really fast. So go back to the first period question. The Devils came out really fast and had 2 shots on the first shift and put us a wee bit in the back foot. But we gained our composure pretty quick and we were dominant. I guess our one big drawback on the night would have been face-offs we didn't win enough of, and probably defensive zone face-offs more critically even than the general face-off. I don't have the stats in front of me. I know that's poor of what we were, but it wasn't great on the night, and zone by zone, our defensive zone was poor. But when I think back, I was standing up in the gantry watching it and thinking, I wonder who Keller's going to pick for man of the match. And for me, it had to be the 2 goalies. And I'm not saying I'm anything special. It turned out to be the 2 goalies. I thought Besko was exceptional. He's been beat by a one-timer on a power play, a bar down from a set play face-off, and a tip in front. And everything else he has saved. He's actually pulled out a couple of absolute worldly saves. One kick save, I think it might have been in the 3rd period, because it was down the left-hand side of us. He had no business saving. He was outstanding. And Carruth was really, really good as well. Carruth, we didn't get really enough. You see the 2 goals where we scored them from. Open shots in front of him. When he got a really good look at him, he didn't save either. When he moved about, he's quick, he's agile, he's big in net. I really like him. He's going to be good for them this season, no doubt about that. Could we have got a wee bit more traffic? Could we do something slightly different in front of him? Because maybe a criticism would be that we are really good in possession of the puck, especially that line of Conway, Picanich, and Goodwin. Control zone time, control the puck so well. Keep working that circle for shots from that kind of outside top circle slot shots, whereas the 2 goals came from just going straight down to the house and getting the shots on. So I'll let Simon come in here, but there was so much that we did really well. Boucher was outstanding. He really was. We got, I guess, Boucher, Goodwin, Pickenick, who else did I mention there? Conway had to play a lot of ice time. Now, Saturday was probably the first of the games that we have played that we have missed, really, really missed the extra two guys in Laker and Murph. That, Cardiff were just one guy deeper than us, and one guy deeper was just enough. Soy, Longer, and Hookie played really, really well together. We're relied on probably to play a lot more ice time than they have been. Both of them got, or all three of them, getting power play time as well. Good to see. But we just ruled those three two-man defensive units who all played really well. It's hard to be too critical. I thought we played well, and I'm disappointed, obviously, to lose, but not despondent.
I think Simon, Davy's put it well there, but it's the fact that, especially in that first period, it seemed the passing was crisp. We were moving our feet. We were, we were passing it around the Devils and getting into the spaces. We were able to basically control the puck, but not just that. Throughout the game, I thought our forecheck was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I've chatted with Adam and Taff about both the games of the weekend, and I mean, I was up to practice this morning speaking to a few of the boys as well, but we'll get those interviews later. But they're all, the big thing about it is Davy's put it very, very well, and he was there, so he probably gets a better view than what the majority of us do. But watching the game back, watching you get to see all these different angles from the way there's some of the good camera angles from Devils TV, and we had our chances. We really did. Both goaltenders played very, very well. Carruth seems like a very active goalie. He likes getting his blocker and catcher up there and stick into players who get anywhere near his crease. And I have no problem with that at all. But sometimes he's a wee bit over enthusiastic with it. But we skated very, very well. And with one of the things that I'd like to point out is, as I say, we're missing two of the top players in the lineup. One of the best centermen in the league, regarding Davy's touched on winning the puck. Ben Lake's decent in the circle. Darcy Murphy, when he gets going, we know he's renowned for being a bit of a slow starter, but he was getting to a stage where now, he was feeling really good, and then all of a sudden he gets injured. Hopefully, both of them are back very, very soon. But see, we get both of them rolling and to join the guys that were there and participate at the weekend. I have no problem at all going up against the Devils. Honestly, I thought the guys did really, really well. Besko, there's not much I can do. It takes a couple of deflections for both. There's two of the goals, and I think it was in the first one on a power play, Davy?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Cardiff are a good team. Let's not make any bones about it, Todd. He's been in this business a long time now. He knows what he's putting together. They brought a new coach in, and I'm sure he's got his ideas as well. But, the Belfast Giants are going to win more games than they're going to lose this year, and they're going to play a lot worse and win. And I was disappointed not to, as the time went on, and they hit a post and they were lucky not to, get an equalizer. Unlucky, sorry, to get an equalizer. But there's nothing there to really make me, worry about facing the Cardiff Devils this year and any other team in this league when we're playing well. And some of the individual performance the weekend, Davy again has covered the majority of it, and I'm probably just going over things. Boucher was absolutely outstanding, and I don't want to use the word unplayable, but they couldn't keep up with him. He's a flying machine. He is absolute flying machine. And the back from the defense on Cardiff, there's a lot of experience there. Registers played at a very high level, as is Mickelson. He just doesn't fear anybody. He's just stuck in. And
sorry, Sam, just to come in, could we have got in Carruth's face a bit more? Because obviously there was a point in the game where we were getting right up in his face, and Carruth was not liking it. He was pushing back. He was getting emotional about it. He was angry. But then we didn't seem to do that again. We seemed to just back off, and then we get a little bit perimeter.
Possibly. Again, Davy. Again, I keep on going back to St. David because he covered the analysis the other half of the game was absolutely brilliant. But the whole thing for me is we get to run three top lines. Longer, Soy, and Hookie got a regular shift. Unfortunately, some of the boys are they're mixing around the power play time. They're sorting around the short-handed time. Hookie's playing both power play and on the shorthand minute as well, and he doesn't look out of place. He's He's playing really, really well defensively. Reinhardt is, he's just quality. Great to see Cam Knight getting his first goal. Mark Cooper, getting a goal the weekend and against Cardiff, and then he picked up a couple of helpers the night after. Look again, we're going to be in a good place this year. We just need to get healthy. We've been very unlucky. I think there's 16 games already, Davey, in the first 4 weeks of the season. 16 import games that we've missed with injuries or guys picking up injuries, what have you. Any team would miss a Ben Lake, any team would miss a Darcy Murphy. Tyler Soy, but he's going to start to come to Galley. I thought he looked decent at the weekend as well. He's had a tough start to the season, picking that head up against Kyle Haas a few weeks ago against Dundee. It takes a little bit longer to get used to it. And we talk about footballers coming into the UK playing the Premier League. It takes guys a little bit of time to get used to their surroundings. It's some of these guys have never been out of North America. I mean, if you ask Sam Rupp, Sam's hardly ever been out of Canada. So he's never been he's never been in a plane to get across the Atlantic to come here. And we will have to get Sam online at some time. He's absolute quality. But look, it is what it is. It was a really good performance, both ends of the ice. Paddy touched on the forecheck. We got on their faces. They know they're going to be in for a game and to play the Belfast Giants this year. And I'm already looking forward to the next one.
We kind of, if I go back a couple, Cam Knight, you can't text from inside that concrete bunker. There's just no phone signal. But I was trying to send you a message, say Cam Knight has really stepped up, and then he's gone almost coast to coast and picked up his own rebound from Hookie, gone 5-hole in Crewe. But a game of inches. We have that one chance in the first period, and it's Soy again. Soy drives round, and this has been an ongoing thing and it comes up in the Cardiff game or the Coventry game where they did it on us. They got around the outside of Bonner. Lots of players making that drive round the outside of the D-man and then on the goalie. Soy does it and comes up and pings the post, and it's sitting there to get knocked in. Unfortunately, the D-man has tripped, knocked the post off. That's the game ends, and then that shot at the end. Bar for a couple of posts, the Belfast Giants come away there in the overtime with it. If we'd have won that game, Simon, I don't think there'd have been a Cardiff Devils fan would have said we didn't deserve it.
I think you're right. And you touched on the incident there of the net being shoved off intentionally. And,
definitely not. I was analysing the game then, cutting tape. Soy drives around the outside of him and the trip, and he just slides. He hits it with his head. He's totally incidental. No way did he mean it. 100%. I'll try and cut it for you for afterwards.
I don't really care. But I heard did he extend his neck to hit with his head? Google it was put over to me that the net came off where he could have avoided it. So he managed to extend that neck a wee bit.
What about and Davey, I'll go to you. What about the call from Adam Keefe with 3 minutes on the power play to pull Besco? 2 goals down, 3 minutes to go. We get that goal. We keep going. It was a ballsy call. It paid off. It nearly paid off fully. If it wasn't for Cruz hitting it off the shoulder and onto the post, it nearly fully paid off.
Panic tactics, is not what that girl used to call it. I don't remember her name. I've only ever seen it work once, where a team's got 2 goals. The Wings did it once. Lidstrom got both goals. It reminds me of that. But look, we talked slightly earlier when we were doing the analysis there. We keep possession, especially when we have that line of Pickenick, Goodwin, Conway out there. Bush was out as well. I think Reinhardt was out. I can't remember who the 6th man was just off the top of my head, sorry. But we keep possession in the offensive zone so well. So we had won the face-off. We got good possession of it, and then keepers and we kept possession in the zone for what seemed like an age before we got the goal. It had gone out of the zone, it had gone back in. We were confident enough to let it come out. But we've been doing that in the game and pinning them in their own D zone time and time again. It's and it was quite like that in the first period too. There was periods of the game, not periods of the game. There were sections within the periods where we were keeping 60-second possessions. I'm sure the stats guys, Keelan will have them done the O-zone, D-zone time and stuff. But there was times where we just had Cardiff pinned in, gassed out. They talking to Lily there earlier, they iced the puck. That's the pressure of a Boucher, of a Goodwin, of a Conway, just constantly in your face. Simon will tell you, D-man, the last thing you want to hear is that coming towards you when you're facing your own glass. And the Belfast Giants did it again, turnover after turnover, and that sets us up now. You've seen us on the power play, what our possession's been like this season on the power play so far. We could do with more power play goals, but power play possession been really good. So getting best goal off, getting the extra man on, kind of like a power play, I guess, except you've got 11 men in the zone instead of 10. But it's like Simon will come in on that. I just think, bar like a paint, that game's tied up, and it would have been a really ballsy move from Adam to get the 2 power play or the 2 extra man goals.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's pulled a goalie with 2.5, 3 minutes left in the game. It does take a ballsy move to do that, and at the end of the day, if you're getting beat 3-2 and you lose 4-2 or 5-2, who cares? You're still gonna give it a go. And I thought the boys, to be honest, Dave, I actually thought watching that game in stages, as you say, that Cardiff are chasing shadows. We were very, very quick. Paddy touched on it at the top of the show. The passing was on the tape every single time in the first period, especially. And then Cardiff, make a slight adjustment. They come out, they get the goal, and it's always difficult to chase the game against the Cardiff Devils. They get a couple of goals that deflected back, and the next thing you're 3-1 down, and you really need to try and push it on. You put the goalie, you get that goal. We're very close to getting the third one. But again, overall, Adam is not disappointed with the performance. He's not disappointed with the way that it all actually ended up. And again, on another night, you might get those bounces not going in for the Cardiff Devils, and you end up winning 4-5-6-1. So there's nothing for me right now, the way the Cardiff Devils are sitting, to be worried about if we're full strength. So looking forward to the next game, and it sort of came to roost for the next night as well, because the boys were ready to go.
Just like, I think I tweeted it on Saturday night just before I hit the road about not being too despondent. We've had games against the Dundee Stars, and with the greatest respect, Fife Flyers, who have not started the season well. And then we're going in against a team who are playing CHL games, who have played the Steelers, who have played the Panthers, who have played the Coventry Blaze. They've had good, high-intensity games, and we were having to jump straight in to the fire straight away against a team that, I'm not going to say they're mid-season form or anything, but they're certainly, further down their season's fitness and all than we are. And we stood up tall against them. And as you said, Sam, if we'd have ran out there winners by 3-4 goals, nobody would have complained. Bit of puck luck sometimes doesn't go your way, and I think Saturday night was one of those nights.
Let's wrap this section up with some of the post-game interviews from the coaches.
Yeah, certainly. I think obviously Cardiff's a very good hockey team. They are pretty much every year, at least the last little while here. So, we watched them with the Champions League, and obviously the success they had early on in the Champions League, and been playing for that long, that we knew that there was going to be another level of pace to the game that we weren't used to. No disrespect to Fife and Dundee, but it was another level of pace today. And I was happy with our guys to stick with it for the most part of the game. And I thought if we had capitalized on a few of our chances in the first period, it could have been a different look. But obviously Carruth played well tonight, and we didn't make it hard enough for him, I don't think, to see those pucks. But it was all in all really happy with the pushback there at the end. We had the goalie out there for a little over 3 minutes, and managed to maintain possession and keep coming at them, which is that's a positive for the future.
I thought we competed hard all night long. I know that's a very good hockey team there, and they put a lot of pressure on, especially in the first period. I thought offensively they create and they had sustained offensive zone time. So yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome, and I thought we played very hard. I thought that defensively we could have been a little quicker to pucks, installed their offense a little bit. But again, they're a hard team to contain, and again, that's how they ended up with so much offensive zone time tonight.
Thanks to Devils TV for the goals, and thanks to Elite League for the interviews. You can get the full highlights from our good friends at Devils TV, and Gareth and Ollie did a good job as always on commentary. Let's move on to Sunday, guys. That game that was live on Premier Sports. It was the game between the Coventry Blaze and our own Belfast Giants. In the game, ended in a 5-3 victory for your Belfast Giants. The goals, they came for the Blaze from John Curran, who scored 2, and Evan Bloodoff, who scored their 3rd. For the Belfast Giants, stick your hand in your pockets. It's Kevin Rain with 2 goals, one in the opener for the Giants and the empty net at the end. And in between that, Scott Conway with a hat-trick. CJ Mott in goal for the Coventry Blaze, 26 saves and 4 goals against. On the other side, Tyler Bescaroni, 25 saves, 3 goals against. Rest for Dean Smith and Liam Sewell once again. Sis, I'll start with you on this one. Blaze are a tough team. It was a nip and tuck game. Every time we seemed we were trying to get away, they came back at us.
Didn't get a chance to watch it on Sunday night, Paddy, so I watched it back on the rerun from Premier Sports last night. Again, I was actually really enjoying it. Obviously, I'm not sitting there as a neutral, but I thought it was a really good game. But great to get the lead and push on from it. Kevin Rain with a great goal. For the officials, so they had a bit of a nightmare not picking up the assists. I mean, there's 5 goals and 1 assist there in that list that you've put up there, Paddy. But some of the movement of our puck again, of our players on Sunday night against the Coventry Blaze was absolutely outstanding. I think I'm pretty sure I said to you boys at the start of the season, I expect Conway to be up and around the 30 goal mark. The kid's unbelievable. He really is. There's no backlift off the majority of those shots that he has. And he just knows where the net is. He knows where the target is. Obviously, you're going to bring in the chance here of scoring the goals as well. But, I mean, even in that play there, that the little heads-up play from JJ Picanich, little drop pass back there for Rayner to step onto. It couldn't have been any better. It's all about the pass. If he had a really rifled that one on the backhand to Rain, he's not getting in there. He's just not being able to hit the puck because he wasn't catching up on the play. And just before that, I'm pretty sure Rayner emptied a guy right at the penalty box. And again, he gets up back on his feet and he gets back into the play as well. Really good opportunity for the Blaze. And again, I actually think Besco is going to be a wee bit disappointed on 1 or 2 of the goals. There was one, I think the guy waved his stick and I think he maybe thought he was getting a bit of deflection on it. And the 3rd goal, I know Taff was saying that Besco was a bit disappointed with that. And it sneaked in there at the post coming off the stick. It looks like it went top corner. It did not go top corner. It basically came off the paddle of the stick and up into the net. But I thought we looked really, really good on Sunday night, especially with the Blaze being fresh. There's no games all week since the previous Sunday. They had a couple of days off. I'm led to believe they were ready to rock and they didn't have to travel for the game. We played a game the night before, and then all of a sudden, we're back on the ice again less than 22 hours later. Solid performance, both individually on numerous occasions and numerous players. And obviously collective. I thought we were absolutely outstanding. And that play from Kevin Rain, again, it's all about the pass out from Picanich. Picanich in the corner with a great pass, a heads-up play right on the Rayner. Rayner, I thought at that stage he was about to, because the net just got bigger and bigger for him. And all of a sudden he just, has the head up. Conway's right in front of the goaltender. To be honest, I had no idea where the Coventry Blaze players were because Picanich is sucking them all into the corner. Literally they were all puck watching. They were literally following him into the corner. And he puts that pass right on a plate for Rayner to put to Conway. Great performance. Really tough building to go into. We've known that over the years. And Coventry, I think they're going to be a really good team this year. They have some solid players in that lineup as well. But again, picking up the 2 points after the night before when it just didn't go our way, it was very, very pleasing.
For those watching on YouTube, the 3-word weekends are schooling across the bottom. Thanks to everybody for those. Davey, we had an early disallowed goal, came back in. Conway with a fantastic hat-trick. But overall, it is a tough building to go into, as Simon says. Every time we look to be getting away, they always pull one back. I remember saying to my brother, who was watching the game in Premier Sports as well, so the amount of times that I've been in that building where we think we're getting ahead and they've nicked one right at the end, or they've nicked one at the end of the period where there's been a bit of a lapse. They know how to come back in the games. The Giants had to work hard in this game.
Yeah, I think that'll please Danny Stewart that they didn't quit when they went down against a good team. They kept coming. 3 times they came back from conceding goals. I think that I know I talked to you guys earlier on. I think their first goal should have probably been blew up for icing, but doesn't go. Reinhardt takes his foot off the gas for just a split second to sort of appeal to the line, going, where's my call? Because he's beat him to the face-off dots. He feels like it should be called. The rules of the game, if it's a close race, it's icing. It's not, you don't have a foot race unless there's going to be a clear winner. So felt that should have been called up, and I think he did too. It came from a soft turnover as well on the blue line. We never saw the game or the puck again. This is going to happen against good teams like this. You give them the puck easy, they'll transition back and they'll punish you, and that's what they did. They got that forecheck on that goal, but like probably the highlight goal is that one that's scrolling there at the minute. There's two. Reinhardt's play to allow Conway to come back out from the net, where he just holds it for an extra half a second and then sauces it straight across the ice for the one-timer. Beautiful. But that one where Rayner comes in, as Simon had said there, the net probably, and the puck's like a beach ball. This is brilliant. And he just has the time and the mental capacity just to put that into the slot to let teammates score. That was more important. And then to come up with the 185-foot empty netter was brilliant for him, and say Richard Tobin won't be too happy. Cost him 40 quid, but that's all for charity. That charity, by the way, at the minute, after what's that, weekend number 4, 311 quid to Kevin Rain's charity of choice. So it's raining goals there. It says by Dylan Kaki, it's raining money for charity as well.
I think says goalkeeping as well. We knew that CJ Mott was going to be a real challenge. Matt Cruz was a challenge the night before, but CJ Mott is a fantastic goalkeeper.
There's some top goalies in this league again this year. CJ Mott, you wouldn't be disappointed if he was in your lineup. Well, I would be if it's not Besco, obviously.
I was going to ask that time before you go on. Would you swap Besco for any of them?
No,
not one.
Not one of them. And I'll tell you what, every team in the league, if they said that they wouldn't swap Besco for them, they're lying. Besco would be the number one goalie on every coach's opportunity in this league if they could get him. So it's great to have him here. But CJ Mott's a solid goaltender. He proved it last night. There was a save in the third period that he pulled off, which was absolutely outstanding. But again, it's our movement. It's the speed. I was listening to Murph and Paul Leary talking about the speed of Coventry because they'd watched them the week before or 2 weeks before against Sheffield and saying how fast they are. They hadn't seen Belfast at that stage yet. And then after the game, they were basically saying to Adam, you actually left the Coventry place sitting at one point, the speed, the movement, picking it, he just, again, when you watch that Kevin Rain pass to Conway, Rayner doesn't get that pass unless Pickenick is doing his job in the corner. And when you watch it, what happens, he comes round behind the net of CJ Mott. Mott's keeping an eye on him. He's got a guy chasing him. He's got a guy coming in from the circle. I think it's a centerman who's coming in, and he ends up sucking the winger who's keeping an eye on the defenseman down into the corner as well. You could throw a blanket over the three of them. Head up play. Sees Rayner coming in off the blue line. Great play by Rayner, to pinch in there to the top of the circles, right onto his tape. And how it didn't make the top goals of the Premier Sports top 5 or 6 goals this weekend, I don't know. Quality play by Pickenick on 2 or 3 occasions. But again, we could pick 3, 4, maybe even 5 players who had really, really good games. Conway was outstanding. Rayner was outstanding. Reinhardt, Davy, that pass from Reinhardt through the seam for Conway at the back door. And what a finish from Conway. If you watch Conway again, he's keeping an eye on his winger. The winger's literally about to come down and pick him. But the Reinhardt sort of fakes to go across the blue line for the shot, opens it up because he steps out. Conway's there all on his own. Nobody within 20 feet of him. And he goes top shelf again. What a finish. Great performance. And as I say, from the night before when just 1 or 2 bounces didn't go our way, it was great to see a couple of fantastic finishes, a couple of lucky bounces going our way as well, and to pick up 2 points to get the league season up and running was very important.
I think that was going to be my final question on this. David, 2 points from the 2 games. It is early. We always say 2 points in October mean as much as 2 points in March. But are you happy with the return from this weekend, or is it more about the performances?
Right back to the top of the show, disappointed but not despondent. To go to Cardiff and get anything ever is always a good point, is always good, 2 good points. Disappointed because I felt that we did enough in the game to take something from it, and a bit of puck luck went against us, and we didn't come out with any points. Blaze is going to be a hard place for every team to go to this season, to come out of the Skydome or the Rain Dome, as Kiefer's going to rename it. I think that's the 4th goal for Rainer in there.
His building.
His building. So they'll take points off lots of teams at home there this season. So good start to the league campaign. Disappointed, as I say, not to take all 4 points, but not too despondent.
Simon?
Absolutely agree. If you'd offered me 2 points before the weekend started, I probably would have took them.
Would you take them the other way around?
What?
Would you take them the other way around?
2 in Cardiff.
Saturday, lose Sunday.
I think if I had won on Saturday, but still would have won on Sunday.
Yeah.
Again, the Devils they've played at a higher level, and that. I asked that question to Jordan Boucher this morning, and you'll hear his answer in just a few minutes. But for me, when you're used to playing with, it's the same as when I say about kids playing hockey. When you're playing with better players, you get better. With the greatest respect to Dundee and Fife, Cardiff are at a different level. They've been skating for, I think it was the 2nd week in August they came in. So that's what's that, 8, 9, 10 weeks since they started their season. Our boys have been going for 4 weeks. They didn't have any warm-up games to a certain extent, and to get to where we're going at the minute, and using, let's be honest, Thorts and Adam decided to use the Challenge Cup as our warm-up for the league this year. It's worked a treat. We've already qualified for the next stage. We've got a game this weekend against, is it Dundee or Fife? I can't remember. We're already through. So I don't know what way he's going to work it this weekend, but for me, it's been a real stroke of genius to do that for this start of this season. And as I say, if you'd have given me 2 points before we went away across the water to play Cardiff and Coventry, I probably would have took them.
Highlights from Premier Sports, and thanks to them for the goals as well. As Simon mentioned, he popped down to training this morning, had a chat with Jordan Boucher and Slater Doggett.
Jordan, tough weekend. You get a league campaign up and running, and it's the Cardiff Devils, which is always a tough game against the Belfast Giants. But again, you dominated a lot of the play. Just unfortunately, a little bit of unlucky puck luck.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I think we played a lot better than they did, especially in the first period. We were all over them. We just couldn't get the first goal right away. It took us till the third to get it, I think. And then Nider put it in, and we got that momentum that we needed. No, I think we'll get them back at home for sure.
With a lot of respect to Dundee and Fife, who's been playing for Challenge Cup, did you notice that step up in intensity because Cardiff have been playing the CHL game so far this season?
Actually, no. I think Dundee is a hard-working team, So from that standpoint, not so much. And they also play different in their D zone. Dundee's more of a man-on-man coverage kind of team, and then Cardiff was more kind of like layered, you would say. So from that standpoint, I think both teams. I think Dundee did a good job preparing us for Cardiff. We came out strong. We had him, but we just couldn't bear it. So I think we were ready with them.
Sunday, Coventry had the weekend off. They only played the one game. You take that intensity, from Saturday, and it was very noticeable getting into Sunday.
We you know what? We didn't want to lose 2 in a row. That was our main goal for that game. We came out strong, and we just showed what kind of character this team is built around. We battled till the end, and we came out on top.
Kevin Rain with 2 goals and Scott Conway with a hat trick. Rainer looked like he enjoyed it, and you were on the ice with a couple of them as well.
Yeah, Rainer was an absolute beast out there. He's hitting, making passes, scoring goals. It was I heard it was his building too. Last year he put a couple, or the year before he put a couple ones in there. So I'm happy Rainer got it in, and then Conway's been due. He's been working hard every day, and it's just fun to see these guys being rewarded.
Optional practice today. A few short legs out there because it's Andrew Dixon especially. He certainly looked as if he was. He certainly had enough this morning.
Yeah, he did. We try to go easy on Dicko, but it was 4 of us. So he did. He got a couple of shots. Laker had his number this morning. He got pissed off a couple of times, but I think it was a good time being out there.
Thanks, Jordan.
No problem.
Slater, a weekend where you took up the league action after 6 games in the Challenge Cup, and obviously you headed over to Cardiff and And again, that we seen on the webcast, obviously from Cardiff, and it looked like a tough battle.
Yeah, I felt like we came out a lot harder than them. We were pretty excited. We got the bus legs out early, and we had a pretty good first. But they kind of brought it to us in the second. So we thought we were controlling the game, other than they scored the first goal. And yeah, we played a good game. Just a few mistakes, a few mental breakdowns. A goal off the face-off that should never happen, and we fought back at the end. A couple good empty net chances, but it wasn't good enough. But now we kind of know what to expect going into Cardiff and playing them. So yeah, next time around we'll be ready, and hopefully the 2 points will fall in our direction.
It's one of those games where we're missing a couple of bodies, Ben Lake and Darcy Murphy, and they're two big cogs in the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, Laker and Murph, they're two of our leaders and two of our kind of strongest players. So getting them back in the lineup will give us a huge boost and energy for sure. So I think can't wait for those guys to be back to see what they bring in league games.
24 hours later, Coventry in the Skydome. Again, the Belfast Giants, the fans travelled, and it's always good to see those guys in the crowd when you're participating for the Giants.
Oh yeah, it's just awesome seeing a full section of Giants fans so far away from Belfast, and kind of gives us energy to hear when the Coventry announcer says, "Oh, any Giants fans in the crowd," and we hear them yelling as loud as they can. So they definitely bring us a lot of energy, and we're just grateful to have them so far away from Belfast.
And that game against Coventry with the 5-3 victory, again, another tough battle, another tough place to go into. But it must have been sweet coming out with 2 points.
Yeah, it was a tight game all around. Kind of we scored, they scored, back and forth. No, never a 2-goal lead. So it was nice to see Collins tuck 3 back and get one late in the third to get us the points. Yeah, just a tough battle, and I'm proud of our whole team for pulling that one out.
Tough week of practice, and then back out of the game this weekend. Manchester away, and then back at the SSE Arena on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to get back at the SSE, but first up's Manchester, so we're just focused on that one, and then we'll worry about that home game after we steal 2 points from Manchester in their rink.
Top man, thank you.
Cheers.
I like that from Slater at the end there. Taking 2 points from Manchester. Let's hope so. Right, we're going to move it on. We've got our guest. We've got the fan agenda brought up to you by our good friends at Belfast Giants TV. And after the last week, who else are we going to bring on except for the 11th captain of the Belfast Giants, the newly named captain for the Belfast Giants? That is, of course, Mr. David Goodwin. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well, sir. Doing really well. Thanks for joining us. Now, a lot of questions have come in, a lot of questions about the game, a lot of questions come in on Twitter, but I'm going to start with one equally as important as any of those. You've been to London. You've seen Blakey. How's he doing?
Yeah, it was great. As you could see from those last few clips, there weren't a lot of us out at the skate today. So some of us were in London. I got to see Blake. He's doing great. He had a surgery today. So it was just really great seeing him before that. So really, really grateful for our time together.
Was that a planned trip down to London that you had, or just you had a day off just to go down?
Yeah, well, it was planned. Kiefer gave us a couple days off, Monday and Tuesday. So some of us buzzed down to London from Coventry, and then once I found out Blake was there, it was kind of a no-brainer to try to set that up and visit him.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially considering he's the position that he's in. He's going through a bit of a tough time for you to get out to Great Ormond Street. He must have been pleased to see you.
Oh yeah, his mom didn't tell him that I was coming, and when I saw him, he was ecstatic. So it was great. It really was special seeing him.
Goody, first of all, congratulations on the captaincy. Quite an honor.
Yeah, it really is. Massive honor. Looking forward to the challenge, but obviously when Kiefer let me know, the first thing I thought about was just, like you said, how big of an honor it is. So
listen, we've just finished kind of analysing the weekend's games there, and sort of the one question I would have had after Saturday: how easy is it to kind of put the puck in the bin after playing so well and not sort of dwell on the loss? Is it easier because you've got a game coming so quick on Sunday?
Yeah, it's nice. Boucher and Dogs were saying, we did feel like we played well and we did a lot of things right, but the reality is it wasn't the result we wanted and we needed. And a big part of that was because we didn't score, kind of at the beginning of the game. So it kind of stung with us a little bit going into Coventry, but thankfully we were able to kind of get out on top early and, kind of get the ball rolling right away.
Goody, if you've been here now 4 weeks, obviously it's Challenge Cup, and you've faced Dundee and Fife both 3 times each, and then over to get the league season run. How do you think the first 4 weeks, if you had to break everything down into sections, the first month of the season, how do you think the team collective's gone?
Yeah, I mean, I think, net things have been going, really well. You guys probably know better than me, but our record, 6-2, gone into some tough barns and gotten some big wins, played well even when we haven't won. So I think on the ice, everyone's pretty happy with how things have been going. I would say, more importantly, from my view, off the ice, in the locker room, the guys are gelling very well. So, even if there's some road bumps here at the beginning of the season, I think long-term, we're in a good position for success.
When you're looking, as I say, I know Adam breaks it down into sections, maybe 4 or 5 games at a time. The league campaign, do you think, I asked Bush the question this morning, but do you think there was a bit of a step up in level of intensity maybe from the likes of Dundee and Fife to the Cardiff game because they've played CHL so far this season?
Yeah, I do. I know I heard Bush said, he might not necessarily think that, but I do think, certainly a step up in intensity. Obviously, the history between Cardiff and Belfast, we went into a very hostile environment that I think was certainly a notch up from going into Dundee or going into Fife.
Going to go to a couple of questions that have come from Twitter, some serious, some not so serious. We'll start off with Keelan Daly, who just asks, what can the Giants fans expect from a David Goodwin captaincy?
Yeah, I think, I mentioned this in one of the interviews I had in the paper, but just trying to be the best version of myself, try not to change a whole lot. There was a reason I was selected to be captain, and I'm just going to try to bring that, every day in practice into the games. I like to be vocal when I need to, but certainly I hope to just mainly walk the walk.
Let me see. Kevin Madden. Would you rather play hockey against 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
To be fair, I cheated a little bit and I read some of these questions.
You've read them out? You've got ahead of yourself then?
Yeah. I would rather the 1 horse-sized duck than 100 horses that are duck-sized. So,
why would that be?
I just feel like it'd be easier to get around them and not have to all I have to worry about is one of them and not 100 of them. So just be able to focus on one.
One more. Teal Trooper asks, is there such a major difference in the game in terms of speed and physicality in the UK when compared to Poland, Finland, Sweden?
I think all the leagues kind of have their own style. I would say the UK league is most similar to North America compared to Finland, Sweden, and Poland. So it's, I'm most comfortable here in the UK. I'd say a little more physical than Finland and Sweden. I'd say that's probably the biggest difference.
The way things have started off, you've been mostly out with Scott Conway and JJ Picknett. Just how much fun are those 2 guys to line up with?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I mean, clearly we've had some chemistry here early on. Mixed it up a little bit. I played with Dogs and Coop, but we went back to it for the Coventry game, and it's I think we're making it really difficult for Kiefer to switch that line up, which is a good thing, good problem to have.
And Jordan Boucher, just out there and grinding away every shift, never takes a shift off. He must be great to even watch from the bench.
He is. He's really entertaining. Skates like the wind. He'll get in guys' faces. He has some pretty goals so far this year. So I'm sure the fans love him. And speaking for the players, we obviously really enjoy him on our team.
When you see him crashing into Cruz's crease, does anybody, no, not again?
I do. Just like, oh gosh, here we go, but at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff is it's good for the team and it brings us energy. So, net, it's probably a positive thing.
Goody, I just want to ask you again, that you're obviously you played, I can't remember many games, Davy will be able to know for the first season that you were here, but coming in from a mid-season for a certain extent, but coming into Northern Ireland, and settling in as a professional player in a new rink and a new city. How hard is it? And okay, it's obviously a little bit easier because we're an English-speaking country. That's debatable. A lot of people would argue about that sometimes. When you sort of understand what we're trying to say, it becomes easier for you. But how hard is it to settle in? Because again, some guys just take it like a duck to water, or a horse-sized duck to water, and others take a little bit longer.
Yeah, like I would say for someone like me, it does take a little bit of time, to feel comfortable. Even coming back for this second go around, it has taken a little bit of time. Things are different than they were the first time around. I also think, like for myself, I want to be very, immersed in the culture here, very immersed in the fan base. I want to get to know a lot of people. Like I want it to be more than just about hockey. And so because I want that, it takes a little bit longer. Whereas some guys just live, maybe a little more simply. They're good with just going from the ARC apartments to the rink to Spar, and that's kind of their gig. I would say for those guys, the adjustment isn't so much.
And again, when you've only faced 4 teams so far this season, and you know what to expect when you go to like Sheffield, Nottingham. Guildford's always a tough place to go into, and I know you haven't seen some of those teams yet. But who do you expect the Belfast Giants to be their biggest challenges this year?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Of course, going into Sheffield is going to be very difficult. I'm sure they're going to be top of the standings this year. I felt we struggled against Nottingham, a couple years ago. They always kind of had our number. So I think those two would be the teams that we're going to have circled on the schedule.
We'll close up with a couple more from Twitter there. Saturn asks, what's your favorite to do when you're not training or playing?
Yeah, like I said, just try to do stuff around town. I like going up Cave Hill, get down to the Mourne Mountains, try to be outside as much as I can while the weather's still nice.
How are you enjoying the Mournes?
It's great. Sleeve Binion. It's very beautiful.
It's a lovely place to climb up. And one more, Reese Harrison, simply potato bread or soda bread?
Yeah, I had to. I was actually traveling with Lewis Hook back from London today, and I had to ask what either of those were. So I don't think I have a really response for that.
I will have you a soda bread and a potato bread at practice tomorrow morning.
All right, and then I'll have an answer for you.
That's it. And we'll get you back on. We'll get a video if you do, and we'll get that for next week and see what it was. Get your response. Obviously, Manchester on Saturday. An interesting rink to play at. It's one that we've had our ups and downs out of the last number of seasons, and especially the last time we played when you were here last time. And then back for that game against Dundee in a competition we've already qualified for. So what's the motivation this weekend? How are you preparing for it?
Yeah, I think like any other game, Manchester, they had a kind of a weird weekend. They spanked Fife and then got spanked by Fife. And, obviously, having guys like Curtis Hamilton and Liam Morgan on the team, that'll be a little extra juice for us to, obviously we want to, play hard against those guys and some of our buddies. So I think we're going to prepare like any other game, and we're going to, obviously we have a job to do, get a W. The building might not be the best in the league, but we can't get distracted by that.
What about like rink size when it comes into somewhere like Manchester? Obviously it's a smaller rink compared to what you've played in even Cardiff or Coventry.
Yeah, things happen a little quicker out there. That'll obviously be a point of emphasis for Kiefer this week. You got to make plays a little quicker, probably more shots on net, both sides. So, something that we'll adjust minorly, but overall our game plan will be the same.
Well, David,
Judy, sorry, I have to come in now because I am fascinated by the smaller rink in Manchester. We're used to playing on 200 by 100 foot ice pads now, the Olympic size ice pads, and then you go into Manchester and all right, you see things happen a lot quicker, but it's shorter end to end, it's narrower with the width. How much of a difference is that to you? Make it even a controlled breakout, any kind of play on that ice surface?
Yeah, I think it is definitely different. Like, there's no doubt. It's definitely different. Like I mentioned, like things just happen a lot quicker. You just kind of have to mentally be in it, from the very start, or else you might, end up pulling yourself off from the ice after a big hit. like I said, there's going to be a lot more shots on goal. It'll probably be more physical. Usually bigger players do better on smaller ice sheets. They don't have to skate as much. They're able to be more physical. That doesn't necessarily bode well for me. So I'm hoping that's not the case. But, we've been around this game so long. We know how to play on big sheets, small sheets, and it shouldn't be, an issue for our team.
And I'm just going to push a little bit on the point there, Davey, especially in Manchester. Ice conditions have always been a bit of a problem in Manchester. It's maybe not the best of rinks. How much of an effect is that? Because they know how to play on that ice. They know that it can be somewhat of a swimming pool at times.
Again, one of the cool things about this league is all the rinks and all the cities are super unique. You truly never know what you're going to get. So, it's just one of those elements that we can't get distracted by. Obviously, it makes a big difference, but at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we can't, make excuses like that. But certainly an element. But they're playing on it. We got to figure out a way to play on it too.
Fantastic. Well, listen, good luck at the weekend. Congratulations on the captaincy, on becoming captain of the Belfast Giants. I know a lot of people, including ourselves, are delighted to see it. And good luck this weekend against Manchester and back home against Dundee.
Yep. Thanks, gents.
Cheers, Greg.
Big thanks to David Goodwin for his time. Fantastic to have him on, and brilliant to have him as the captain of the Giants. Right, we're going to get stuck into the news. And he mentioned it there himself. Fife. Wow. Following a 5-0 defeat in Altrincham, the Storm travelled north to suffer an 8-0 defeat in the return fixture. A result that prompted a club statement from the Storm on Monday, saying that they realise changes have to be made, but they won't be making them in haste, and also citing an unusually quiet market for the players at the moment. Davey, we've said a couple of times about Fife, with all due respect to their fans and all due respect to Todd Doody, and we like him a lot on this show. He's been great for coming on. They're not a good team. So for them to suffer a 5-0 loss in Manchester, only to take an 8-0 victory in Fife, was quite shocking.
Well, when you're told you're maybe playing for your job, that's, Boots has gone down to Manchester there, and those guys that came up and got beat 5-0, just maybe on that coach trip on the way back up was maybe very quiet, or maybe it wasn't very quiet, and some things were said that needed to be said, and a bit of a reaction. I know Finnerty will not be happy at all with what happened to Manchester, and I guess they were in a position where they have to make a statement. That's just not good enough. Losing 8-0 to Fife is not good enough with the start the Fife Flyers have had, especially if you've got them 5-0 the night before. So maybe that's a bit of a kickback, bit of a reaction from Fife. It remains to be seen what happens now next game for Manchester, which is ourselves coming up, and as David Goodwin has said, there are a couple of familiar faces in the lineup that they're looking to put the shoulder into as well, hopefully, and it's an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it.
Interesting as well. Says the fact the only thing that I got away from that 8-0 was a shutout for Shane Owen. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't get my head around that. 5-0 the night before, losing 8-0. Matt Ginn started the game. He was 5-0 down and got pulled.
Yeah.
I think their attitude must have been it's absolutely stinking. They just thought they were going to have to turn up, and they were getting the 2 points. And that's, again, seeing the statement coming out from the club or from whoever it was from, I think that's quite evident that was the case. And there might be somebody rotten the liqueur who's in the dressing room. That's some of the things they got. Their guys maybe went out the night of winning 5-0 and said, let's all go out and have a few drinks here because we don't need to be a full capacity to beat Fife tomorrow morning. I actually, again, we talked about Todd before a few minutes ago when you said about he's been great for us on AVFTB, and it's good to see them get a result because they really have been struggling. I know that the sign Chase Shaber, I seen a report on Twitter, I think it was, that he's a non-vaxxer, so they can't play. As far as I understand, you've got to have the injections to play in this league. So I don't know what the situation is, if that's changed from because of the restrictions have been relaxed in different parts of the UK. I have no idea, but I don't know how hard it is to get players in to suit your budget. I've never been involved in that thing on that side of things from a club's point of view, but it's there's bound to be guys out there who want to play hockey, but it's just because of the current pandemic. I have no idea how hard it is to try and attract them to Manchester.
I didn't know that about the vaccine. We'll go to the Elite League and we'll get clarity on that and see if that's
Yes, I've seen it again. I've seen it on Twitter. I think somebody said, because we've seen Chase here before, and he's a good player. But I've seen something on Twitter that he hasn't had his injections, and I'm pretty sure the league, it's a point that they made at the start of the season. You've got to have your injections to play.
Nottingham stung Cardiff 5-2 on Sunday, including a brace from their new captain Stevie Lee. Sheffield had a league and cup win over Dundee on Sunday and Nottingham in overtime on Saturday, respectively. And we're around 5 weeks into the season. I know this was mentioned the other week. We are 5 weeks into the season, and the Glasgow Clan have welcomed both their coach and their first player in Malcolm Cameron and Brock. Is it Bukaboom? Bukaboom?
I don't know. There used to be a guy called Jeff Bukaboom, played for the Edmonton Oilers during their heyday in the mid-'80s and won the Stanley Cups. No idea if it's a relation. What's his name? Nathan?
Brock Bukaboom.
Brock Bukaboom.
There's going to be some good chance around that, telling you. They're arriving around for sure this week. Still a few weeks before we see them on the ice, though. A warm-up against Dundee on the 3rd of November. And before their opening weekend, season visit Fife sees a visit from Fife, and then a trip to see us at the SSE Arena on the 7th of November. Davy, that's a long time to wait before we see the Glasgow Clan. Before anybody sees the Glasgow Clan.
Hang on, I'm just looking up this Brock Bukaboom for you. Go to Simon.
Go on, Simon. That's a long time before anybody sees the Glasgow Clan.
It is, and I've just looked it up, and Jeff Bukaboom is his dad.
His dad?
So, yeah.
His sister's called Tyson, and uncles John and Brian, cousins Johnny, Scott, and Joe. So there you go.
Fans of the Bugabooms here and the Bridge.
Big fans of the Bugabooms.
Yeah, look at the just look at his the Jeff Bukaboom's league page there. He won a World Junior Championship medal, and he won 4 Stanley Cups. So good pedigree. Don't really care if he plays well for the Glasgow Clan or not. But again, I think the Clan have organised to play a friendly with, is it Dundee on the Wednesday night, and then they're going straight into league play. That'll be tough. It'll be really tough. I know their players are starting to arrive. I know it's one in. I've no idea how many they're going to have, but we play them early on in the season. So I really hope that they don't hit the ground running, and we can go into Glasgow and pump them.
It's going to be difficult for them. We've talked about what we had in terms of pre-season, if you like, albeit it was actual season in games, versus perhaps what the Cardiff Devils have had, Coventry, Sheffield, Nottingham, etc. It's going to be so hard for Glasgow. They're behind the 8 ball. They haven't taken part in the Challenge Cup. No chance of silver were there. I just don't see how they can start the league with like a run of wins or a run of form. They'll take time to build into it. That's almost as if, are they mailing this season in and just saying, well, at least we got a product out in the ice. It remains to be seen. Maybe they'll do great, but let's hope they get pumped when they come to Belfast.
It's a lot of hockey to play in a short period of time, or at least we've started our league. Yeah, you could say the Challenge Cup, they're not playing in it, therefore they're gaining that time back. We ditched out of the Challenge Cup time gone by, but a lot of teams have already started their league season. They're not starting their league season for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's still a lot of hockey to be played in a shorter period of time.
I'm sure their players are delighted that they've got to play the same amount of games as everybody else for a month's less pay.
Yeah, I guess they're the ones doing the contract negotiations, Davey. So I guess they'll know exactly what they're getting. But yeah, fair point. It's interesting to see what we'll see from the Glasgow Clan when they come into the league. Finally, we got a bit of DOPS. It's still not.
DOPS.
It's an interesting DOPS one. The Kyle Haas in Dundee was hit with an undisclosed fine for the game aggressor penalty at 33:05 during the game against the Guildford Flames on the 16th of October. Quoting from the Elite League website, regardless of what starts the altercation. Haas is clearly the aggressor on the altercation by removing the Guildford player from the group of players and going over the top of the officials to stop them from carrying out their duties. He continues to throw punches in an attempt to inflict punishment on his opponent, who is in a defenseless position and is also clearly an unwilling combatant. This approach to the fine, it was agreed by the Premier Sports Elite League board just a couple of weeks ago. To take it with regards to the fine. We have been quite cheeky, and we did throw a little message to Omar Pasha to ask him how much the fine was. Not heard back from him yet. Says your thoughts on this?
I like to see things like this decided at the start of the season. I don't like new rules coming in when there's already been suspensions. There's already been guys from lineup. There's already been guys who've been injured who then don't have the opportunity to play the next game, and whoever it is has carried out, whether it's intentional or whether it's just a bad hit, and they have just ended up with a fine. It's a difficult one, but I would have preferred if it had been decided at the start of the season. That may well have been decided, and I was just late communicating that. So I really don't know which way it stands. But look, again, nobody wants to see anybody getting injured. That's the worst thing that can happen on the ice. Nobody wants to see anybody getting injured. They don't want to take away the physical element of our game, because at the end of the day, it is a physical game, and so people are going to get hurt, whether it's intentional or accidental. People get hurt, and we don't want to see that. But it's a real difficult one. It's for me because, again, there has been players suspended already in the league, and now that same hit, that same action that maybe got that person suspended is now going to get them a fine. So I really don't know I don't know which way sits best with it. As when I was playing, I didn't want to miss a game. I didn't want to. If I had to pay a fine, I had to pay a fine. I got suspended on occasion, but I think it's part and parcel of the game. Haas and that hit with Tyler Soy a few weeks ago. Tyler Soy missed, was it 6 games, Davy? 4 games before he came back to us. So for me, it's just a matter of, I think it's any decisions for a league, whether it's the IHL or whether it's football, whether it's tiddlywinks, it doesn't matter. It should be decided before a puck's dropped.
Davy.
Pretty much what he said. There's nothing there that I can argue with. We've been unfortunate, as Simon has said there. It's a physical game. Ben Lake, I don't think the hit on Lake is intentional by the guy, but it's careless, and it's put him out for how many? He's missed 6 games already. Tyler Soy, the hit from Haas on him, I still think needed looked at more than once. I wasn't happy with it at all. I don't think that north to south hit, if you like, going low to high, and I think principal point of contacts in and around the head neck area. No such thing as a clean hit to the head. If Dobbs looked at that, would that be okay if Soy missed 6 games for Haas to be fined £100? There's no punishment really there. Financial punishment, I'm not sure whether financial punishment. I'm kind of in the boat where I think to focus someone's mind, they have to miss games. But is it about the product then? And is it making, if the Dundee Stars lose a player, are they so weak that they can't compete? They just don't have the same depth as maybe a Cardiff or a Sheffield or a Nottingham. And is it about the product rather than about player safety? It was just like transparency is all what we've ever wanted from Dobbs. And if Dobbs want to come out and explain maybe a bit more, because it's a bit of a fines instead of suspensions now. Is there a line where, they said this guy's trying to inflict punishment on a defenseless player? That sounds to me suspensionable rather than 50, 100, 150 quid. They'll not be doing massive fines. These guys don't get paid enough. The players pay the fine, the clubs pay these fine. Who's actually losing out here? So, as with always with player safety and Dobbs, there's always little bits of grey there that we never get really to the bottom of.
I'm just wondering, read there was a comment on that statement that you made there, Paddy. Was it something about if if he gets fined, is it then carried forward as he's done it before and he will get suspended next time, or is it just?
I don't know. I didn't say that I've only just taken a section of it on my notes here, but I read it from the Elite League website. I'll have a look, but I don't remember.
Well, you're talking about the repeat offender, Simon. So in time,
repeat offender, yeah, absolutely.
In times gone by, if you were done for checking from behind, next time you might get 3 games rather than 1 game, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So does it start suspension, 1 game, 3 games? Like, is there a bit of a tariff build-up tariff? Don't know.
Let me read. At a board meeting on the 5th of October, the Premier Sports Elite League's 10-member teams approved a motion granting the DOPS the ability to issue fines to players without suspension where deemed necessary. It doesn't say, and the rest of it is just basically Kyle Haas was the aggressor. It doesn't. This incident has been added to his record for the remainder of the season and will be classed as a repeat offender. So it is down as if he does it again, he is classed as a repeat offender. This time he's got the fine. Next time it could be a suspension.
But next time it could be a fine as well.
Maybe.
Depends. Well, I guess it depends. I guess it depends on the severity of the action.
Yeah,
keep playing the way he's playing. He's going to be scanned.
Depends. We don't know what the fine. Don't know what the fine is. And Pash hasn't told us. So could be £20. Yeah.
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, but anyway, on that note, we'll move on. And we'll talk briefly about the games this weekend. On Saturday, myself and my brother, who's visiting, will be jumping on the number 11 bus just down that way. I'm taking it all the way to Altrincham to watch the Belfast Giants take on the Manchester Storm at the Planet Ice in Altrincham, Saturday at 7 p.m. As has been mentioned by David Goodwin, you will be seeing former Belfast Giants in Curtis Hamilton, brackets, not Jordan Smotherman, as we thought earlier in the off-season when they got that wrong. And Liam Morgan as well. Also interested in this game, Sam Rupp. I wonder will he be in touch with his brother Harrison, who played a season for the Manchester Storm. Quickly on this game, says you've got a position where it's the first time into Manchester. They're on the back of an absolute spanking in Fife. We've just talked about how maybe they had a bad attitude going to this. We've seen what's been said by the club and the fact that they're already threatening changes. We have on time had difficulties there, especially considering they're a team who know how to play in that rink. They took a 5-0 win against Fife on Saturday night. What do you think?
We need to be careful. They had a bad result, and I would say that Ryan Finnerty is going to be skating the legs off them for the first couple of days this week, maybe not a day off, and they'll be ready to go. You're only as good as your last result, and the last result was absolutely horrendous for them. So I would say they'll be ready to go on Saturday. It's never an easy place for us to go into. I think it's been noted that it's not the Ritz, so it's going to be a tough place. It's going to have a few eye openers for some of the boys who have come into the Belfast Giants this year and seen. Well, I suppose they played in Fife, right enough. So it's going to be a tough place to go into. But to be honest, we've got the capabilities of winning, and I'm hoping we might have a body or two back this weekend as well. So it's going to be a tough ask. And again, we're traveling on the Saturday. I mean, we're traveling on the Sunday to get back for a home game. And I haven't even looked to see if Dundee are playing on the Saturday night, or to see what their travel schedule is as well. So it's going to be a tough one, but I expect a win because again, we're playing very, very good at the moment.
Davey, on the back of what David Goodwin was saying in regards to the size of the rink, what were your thoughts on what he had to say? Do you think that that's why we've had so many problems? But we've had problems. We've had problems in Manchester going back to the days of Stephen Murphy when he was there, and Stevie Fone when he was shutting us out there. We've always seemed to have that little element there, but it's something that we can get past because, as you say, as David Goodwin said earlier, it's a mindset of being able to play in those rinks and having played there before.
Yeah, I think you're right there when you talk about mindset. And I guess I'm not going to say the Belfast Giants, this would be one more for Simon. I'm not going to say our guys are spoiled, but we play in a beautiful 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 seat arena. We train in it from time to time. Our training facility is spot on at the Ice Bowl. And you go into the what is it, Silver Blades, or what is it called now, Paddy? The storm shelter, Planet Ice, Drizzle Dome, cold, wet floors in the changing room sometimes. that tiny little rink. And it has to, stuff has to happen so much faster. It's 85 feet wide as opposed to 100 feet wide. I think it's like 160 feet long rather than 200. Things happen an awful lot quicker when the ice is 70% smaller. So yeah, but I think the biggest thing is culture shock, that you're going from beautiful big large changing rooms where the guys are at home there, where they've almost got 2 large changing rooms, Simon, to something that I'm going to say the Manchester changing room is probably half the size of one of our changing rooms, if that. So
that's right.
Everybody crammed on top of each other. Just they'll come out. The boys will be fine. I think there's a slightly different attitude about this roster. I've seen some really things I like about them already, and I think they'll be. Simon saying that the Manchester Storm, as he bottles somebody there. As he said, the Storm will be ready on Saturday night. I think the Belfast Giants will be absolutely chomping at the bit to get going this Saturday.
We're going to move Dundee. Storm play Dundee on Thursday night, and then Dundee play Fife on Saturday night. So we've got two games in 3 days before they come into us on Sunday. And that game on Sunday is at 4 p.m. at the SSE Arena. You get yourself down to that, or watch it on Giants TV. Dundee says I don't mean to say there's nothing to play for here, but there's very little to play for in this game, but except for just keeping the momentum going.
There's always something to play for. You want to beat them. You want to keep the momentum going. You want to just, get stuck into them, and, it might give us the opportunity. I don't know. Adam might go with Dicko, because he's already qualified. But Adam he's a winner, and he will want to finish top of overall. They have their pick for who they're going to face moving forward after the for the quarterfinals. So you want to win. You want to win every single game you possibly can. Winning comes a habit. Losing becomes a habit as well. So hopefully we can get a positive result on Saturday. That's the first important one. And then we'll worry about Sunday after Saturday night.
Who you got with you on Sunday? I'll put it to you. You're up against Manchester United, Liverpool. So who you got with you on Sunday?
Don't know yet, mate. It just depends on bodies back and injuries, and then who's left over. So if Besco plays Saturday night and he goes with Jackson Whistle or with Andrew Dixon, Besco might get a night off. I've absolutely no idea right now. Maybe Joel, Davy might fly home, but I really don't know.
I had a chat with one of the people working, one of the ones that run our local pub, and I was talking about about the hockey and about the stream and how I watch it at home. He says, "Oh well, sure, anytime you want, we can put it on here. We can put it on one of the screens here. You can come down and watch it in the pub." I says, "What about next Sunday?" He says, "What time? 4:00." He went, "United Liverpool? Not a hope." But yeah, I get that. If you can't get down to the SSE Arena, 4 p.m. on Sunday, you can catch it with Mr. Kitchen every time here on Belfast Giants TV. Any other business, gentlemen?
Simon, you anything?
I don't think so.
Right, okay. The only thing I have... Oh, well, you do.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a tag team this one.
I didn't want to bring it up first. It's your gig. I'm just here.
All right, well, as people will know, people that are just listening to this in the podcast won't have got what we just did, but I was holding up a little bag with 15 names in it who all donated to a little fundraiser we did when John Smith's girl, Emma's house, tragically burnt down and lost everything. We were able to put a couple of £100 into that, just giving from a shirt that I had, CHL game issued shirt, number 15. So we have 15 people have entered tickets. Their names: Chris Redpath, Jamie Taylor, The Heart Sessions, Alan Price, Stephen McKenna, Craig Pearce, Sammy Duncan, Robert Duncan, Lynchy, Dara Gallagher, Joel Keelty, Joe Byrne, Aaron Stewart, John Judge, and Michelle McElrath. And your names are all in this little bag, which I'm not going to let go out of the screen here, so you can see it's legit. So everybody's names in there.
What manufacture the bag?
Sainsbury's. Other brands available?
See, other brands of freezer bag are available, but a little fish around here. Paddy's giving a drum roll. Yeah. Try the top steam there again.
Should have tried.
Right, here we go. It's exciting, this, isn't it? It's like
size of your hands, Davey.
Big Arthur. So winner is
far too many innuendos on this show so far.
The winner is Joel. I think that's Keaty. Joel Keaty. So we'll tweet that up, and Joel has won the shirt, which Simon will make sure he gets the next time he's at the Odyssey. So well done, Joel, and thanks for your donations. Everybody that donated, money has gone to the Just Giving page or the GoFundMe page already.
Nice one. Well done, everybody. Well done to Joel for getting his hands on that fabulous CHL shirt, and nice work, Davy, on organising that as always. Is that it, gentlemen? Have we got everything? Everything's covered? Take it off.
Yeah, I think so. There's going to be a big announcement this week.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
Is that it?
LFG.
Well, you're getting
LFG, boys. LFG.
Yeah. So it's.
Are you kidding me, Simon?
No, I can't go into detail. It's not my gig. But it's a big announcement, and it's absolutely incredible.
Well, there's the trailer. And then as soon as I click end broadcast, I want to find out what it is. on that bombshell, as I said, this weekend's games: Manchester Storm away Saturday at 7 p.m. If you're not going, then you can get it on Storm TV, and then we're back home on Sunday 4 p.m. Belfast Giants against the Dundee Stars in the Challenge Cup. Get yourself down to the SSE Arena or follow it with Mr. Kitchen and an unknown sidekick on Belfast Giants TV. You also get us at AVFTB on Twitter, at kingdomofthegiants.com, on Facebook, on Instagram, on whatever. We got it all covered, I assume. Who knows? But wherever you... Oh, big thanks as well to David Goodwin, to Slater, Doggett, and to Jordan Boucher, and also to the guys who provided all the video and all that sort of stuff. Wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. We'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.